Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video here on DNTV, and today we are going to be covering our Week 6 record, which, as you can see on the screen here, is 9-5, and our current record is 48-43. So we ended up doing better than Week 5 when we went 6-7. But hopefully we can go ahead, do a hell of a lot better, keep improving this week. Well, we did miss the Thursday night football game. That's why I have it marked with a green X on the screen here. And obviously, like I said, as you can tell, I'm not using a camera right now. My camera is broke. So we continue the show anyway. So next up, to start off the week 7, or my week 7 picks anyway. In the London game, I have the Patriots winning versus the Jaguars, considering the Jaguars are not a good team, I don't think. And the Patriots, I think with Drake May, have a little bit more of a reason to try to win this game. More than, I mean, obviously the Jags do too, but they're both 1-5. But Drake May, I think he's going to have a little bit better of a chance than whatever the hell the Jags quarterback is. I don't even remember his name at this point. Next, the Seahawks versus the Falcons. I have the Falcons winning because the Seahawks, they were doing good, but they've been going on a pretty good slide lately, and the Falcons have, I think, have been finding ways to win now and then. And I believe they're coming off of a bye week last week. No, they probably played on Thursday. Yeah, they won last week against the Panthers. So coming off of a win, and the Seahawks coming off of a loss, I think the Falcons are going to have a little bit more momentum-wise, and they're going to take the win. Next, we have the Titans and the Bills. Now, I did just see that the Titans are going to be starting Mason Rudolph this week. So shout out to Mason Rudolph for getting the start. He deserves it, especially over Will Levis. I mean, he was doing okay last year, but this year he hasn't been doing as good. So obviously they're going to go with a new quarterback, and I think Mason Rudolph could take that team to a couple wins, I think. I don't know if he could take them to a deep playoff run, or even a playoff run for that matter, but yeah, I think he can lead the Titans to a couple wins. So, nonetheless, the Bills are going to win. Next, we have the Bengals versus the Browns at the 3, and they're both, I think the Bengals are the 3rd seed in the AFC North, and the Browns are at the 4th. But the Bengals are going to win this one because the Browns just suck, and they're absolutely terrible. Getting rid of Amari Cooper here recently in the trade deadline, before the November 5th trade deadline, and coming off of a win for the Bengals on Sunday Night Football, I think that they're going to take the win. Even though I don't like either team, but the Bengals are going to win. Next, we have the Texans and the Packers. Yes, the Packers did pretty good. The Texans ended up pulling out their win pretty good against the Patriots last week, but the Texans are going to win because I think the Texans are in a little bit better of a standpoint than the Packers. Especially with, I think, Joe Mixon's back now, and I don't know whether Nico Collins is coming back yet or not, but they still got Tank Dell, and Stephon Diggs is still healthy, and now Joe Mixon's back, so I think they're going to take the win. Next, we have the Dolphins and the Colts. Anthony Richardson is starting this week, so the Colts are going to win this one because the Dolphins just are terrible without Tua. So the Colts are going to take this one. Next, this one I kind of fought back and forth on, the Lions and the Vikings. Now, the Lions had a very, very good win against the Cowboys this last week, and the Vikings are off of a bye week. The Lions don't have Anthony Richardson because he had a broken tibia, I think. And the Vikings are 5-0. 5-0. I'm going to take the Vikings. cautiously, because I think the Lions could win, but without Anthony Richardson, it might be difficult for them to pick up a win. But I see the Vikings going 6-0, heading out of Week 7. So next we have the Eagles versus the Giants. The Giants are poverty franchise. Sorry. Since Daniel Jones has been their quarterback for 6 years already, and he has jack shit to show for it, I'm sorry, but the Giants, they are terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. So I've got the Eagles winning for that matter. Next we have the Raiders and the Rams. The Raiders got rid of Devontae Adams. And Aiden O'Connell is starting, and he's not that great. So the Rams are going to take this one for the matter of the Raiders are just in a little bit worse of a standpoint than the Rams. Next, we have the Panthers versus the Commanders, and the Commanders are going to take this one because the Panthers suck. Even with Andy Dalton, they had the one good game where they're like, maybe we could be a good team, and then it turned out they weren't. So the Washington Commanders are also doing really well, and Jaden Daniels and the Commanders tried to beat the Ravens last week, I believe, and unfortunately it didn't happen, which sucks because I was really hoping that the Ravens would lose. And as you can see on the screen, I'm hoping they'll lose again this week. Fingers crossed. But the Washington Commanders are going to win. Next, we have the Chiefs versus the 49ers. I think the Chiefs are going to win. So that'll mean that both teams are going to go undefeated at least for one more week, but I don't see both of them being undefeated next week or after next week. But I just think it's going to be a rematch of the Super Bowl, and the Chiefs are going to win again. So next on Sunday Night Football, surprisingly, Pittsburgh's got 2 Sunday Night Football games in Pittsburgh in 3 weeks. Because they had one not last week, but the week before that on Sunday Night Football against the Cowboys. Then they faced the Lions and then they faced the Raiders last week, and now they face the Jets on Sunday Night Football in Pittsburgh once again. Fingers crossed that this game doesn't go to an hour and a half delay. Not that very fun. Staying up till midnight only to watch the Steelers lose to the Cowboys. With Russell Wilson starting, I'm very cautious about picking the Steelers to win this one. However, I'm going to pick them anyway because the Jets still got a bit to figure out, and especially with Devontae Adams coming in. I don't know if he'll be good enough with the playbook yet for them. So just for that matter, just for getting things going again and figuring out how he fits into the offense, regardless of whether he's active or not. He's only been on the team for like a week. So I just have the Steelers winning for that matter, that I think the Jets got some figuring out to do. I mean, I'm sorry, not the Jets, the New York Packers at this point. New York Packers. I think the Jets have a lot to figure out first. And hopefully Russell Wilson does good for this game, because obviously, as we all were so totally shocked to hear that Russell Wilson was starting, even though George Pickens ratted out the fact that Russell Wilson was going to start after Mike Tomlin said he was going to keep it in-house and drag it the entire week until Saturday. Pittsburgh's going to win. Next on Monday Night Football, we have the Buccaneers at home versus the Baltimore Ravens. I have the Buccaneers winning, especially because I think the Buccaneers are still going to be a bit of a dangerous team to look out for. Hesitantly. Then also the Ravens are just kind of like, sometimes they can hold the lead, sometimes they can't. And hopefully this is one of them games where if they get a lead, hopefully they can't keep it, and they ended up losing. So, but other than that, I do expect the Ravens to win, and the AFC North first spot still stays tied. However, I hope that the Ravens will lose, so that way Pittsburgh takes first. But I'm not going to count my chickens on that one before they hatch. So, next we have the Chargers and Cardinals on Monday Night Football as well. I have the Chargers winning, even though Marvin Harrison Jr. is coming back. Even though Marvin Harrison Jr. is coming back out of concussion protocol, I regardless have the Chargers winning because the Cardinals are surprisingly not doing very well. Even with you to figure with Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. that team would be doing fairly well, turns out they're not. So this season has been kind of shocking for teams that you'd have figured would have been good, would have sucked, and some teams that you didn't expect to go undefeated, like the Vikings, are going undefeated. Yeah. And that's probably going to do it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. This is just a real quick video. Like I said, I got to get my camera figured out. And next week, hopefully I'll do a stream on Call of Duty Black Ops, whatever comes out, I think on the 25th. So maybe I'll do a stream then too, or some videos. So, thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the bell notifications. As I say here at DNTV, stay classy. DNTV, not DNTV, fucker. As I say here at DNTV, stay classy, don't be trashy, and enjoy the rest of your day. Deuces.